I don't think Wuthering Waves has always been this good, but I would be lying if I said that it hasn't become one of my favorite games of all time, and honestly, one of my favorite stories as well. I mean, the growth that this game has shown me from when it first released 2 years ago has been an incredible thing to see. From the weak and scattered writing in Jinzhou to the absolutely incredible comeback in Renacida, and now the emotional brilliance of Lahai Roi. I mean, what a journey. There's a lot of reasons why I think so highly of Lahai Roi and the first part of 3.x as a whole, and I'm sure I'll get to all of it throughout this video. But for now, I want to focus on what is to me the most differentiating factor that takes this region to a whole nother level in comparison to even Renacida. It's the characters. Or more specifically, it's the characters and their motivations, and how these elements interact with and are written into the region as a whole. I think a pretty obvious world-building decision that Kuro has made has been the deeper meanings of the various elements of the game, like how the Threnodians are set up to represent humanity's vices, or how each region is built and presented to represent a similar, often opposing concept to that main antagonistic idea. For example, Jinzhou is presented as the region of war, and a central figure in this region, our General Jian, has a medical background. And this writing style is also present in Lahai Roi. However, in my personal, humble opinion, it's also done a lot better and with much more complexity. Lahai Roi is introduced to us as a hub of science and research. Most of the time that we spend in this region is split between Star Torch Academy and the Research Institute. We're told from the very beginning that we're stepping into a place that's primarily driven by scientific efforts and ambitions. Even the characters that we meet, like Mornay, Sigrika, and Lucilla, represent this theme pretty aggressively. When you start to look a little deeper, the motivations of these characters and the rest of the people that inhabit Lahai Roi starts to become so much more expansive. You learn that these motivations span across generations, and that they represent a decades-long pursuit that's centered around a dream to see the sky and the stars. I mean, not only does Kuro do a great job at inducting you as a player into the hopes and dreams of this land's people, but they've also cooked up such an artistic and beautiful theme. Slowly, this central motivation blends with the context of it being a decades-long endeavor to create a deeper idea of memory, sacrifice, and inheritance. The people in the world of Solaris that started this work never finished it, but the characters and people of Lahai Roi that continue this endeavor would never be where they are without those who came before them. And now, with this curated lens that we've developed, let's take a look at Lahai Roi's Threnodian. Aleph 1, who is this insanely powerful entity that represents the Void. Now, the Void is basically another abstract idea, but it basically represents erasure and oblivion. It's not so direct as the Jian example from earlier, but the Threnodian seems to represent concepts that are oppositional to the central themes and motivations of Lahai Roi and its people. But the fact that it's not so direct, yet makes so much sense when you put it together, is what makes the writing so great to me. The story's dedication at staying true to the central themes of Lahai Roi just makes the region so memorable and great. I think the clearest example of this, and actually in hindsight probably my favorite decision from Kuro, was the whole thing with the space recording. You know, the one that the Exostrider gives us at the end of the overarching questline. Considering that it's one of the final parts of the region's story as a whole, I initially expected it to be some major, jaw-dropping lore reveal. And I remember being really excited about it too. So when we find out that it's literally just random white noise, I was quite disappointed to say the least. I thought about that moment for quite a while after I finished the story. What was the point? I mean, that moment we're told about the recording and the positioning of that sequence at the end of the questline, all for it to end up not amounting to literally anything, it seemed like such a strange decision to me. And then I realized, no, wait, this was a phenomenal decision. Ever since we stepped foot into this region, we're constantly given information about the people of Lahai Roi and their ambitions and their dreams of reaching the stars, and we're being told how important it is to them. And this recording is a piece of that impossible dream they've been chasing. It has no meaning to us, the players, since, our real world isn't closed off from space. For us, it's right there. But to the characters in this story, it's literally the greatest gift they could have received. The payoff was meant for the people who actually earned it, the characters in the story. And in hindsight, that feels so much more genuine than any artificial moment they could have created with a bunch of exposition. At least, that's how I've come to feel. Overall, I found Lahai Roi to be Wuthering Waves' strongest and best written region. It was short, not as long or fleshed out as Renacida, but I don't know, I found the writing to be tighter and stronger than the other regions. Considering that Lahai Roi was the latest area, and that Renacida was considered a massive improvement from Jinzhou, I'm really excited for 3.5 and what comes after. If you enjoyed my interpretation of Lahai Roi or just this video in general, consider subscribing, and I'll see y'all in the next one.